So, I want to talk today about a new idea for a cleaning method I have that might be more environment friendly in that we use a lot less chemicals and might clean better. The more chemicals making chemicals cause a lot of electricity. So, less you can use, the better. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes. And sometimes more electricity than the whole apparatus, the detergent stuff used to make this stuff. Well, what the whole idea is, what if we could recharge the soap I have? Or is it like it's more environment friendly because you dispose of less chemicals? Well, here's a couple methods I think we could recharge the soap so it continues the same amount of effectiveness. The first idea is very, very simple, and that is, let's say soap has a hydrophobic end, which I drew as a squiggly, and then it has something that attracts to water or not, and that can be a positive or a negative one, or it can be some of them are non-ionic and don't have just have a hydrophilic thing like a polar group or something there. But some of them have ionic things, and that's like the most common soap you use to clean your hands and stuff. Sodium lauryl sulfate is one of them, and that's made by mixing. And the ones like you wash your hands with are mixed by some type of oil plus a strong base like sodium. But anyways, these things, because of the positive charge, they kind of attract more negative dirt, and then the cells have a positive charge, which means that they could be theoretically separated using and like a reduced electrolysis cell with a certain with a certain membrane that only lets in certain size stuff throughout it, so it excludes like big dust particles that is accumulating part of it. Other things molecules it could exclude too, and only lets in molecules of a certain size and certain positive characteristics accumulate there, which is only some of the detergent with this positive detergent. Now, I'm going to speak for positive detergent now and then later make up what's for negative detergent, because most detergent in fact is positive if you look at like soap for your hand washing. Now, there is going to be positive dirt that also gets by this filter, but it would concentrate it somewhat. And it's not only splitting, it's also just pulling it ones that are not attached to anything. The other thing we could do is we could make it so that different things along a filter move to different things depending on the weight and mass and density. For example, higher moving particles with a very low that have a high density might move throughout this whole column really quickly, but small particles might be thrown to the side because the momentum can change more quickly. Then at some point along the column, you have a place where most of the soap comes out in its purest form. Or something else, like it is sorted out by size and weight. And then another way you can do this to make it more efficient is that once the dirt concentrates, it can act like a self-concentrating thing, because dirt can stick better to dirt than soap can stick better to dirt, because soap is only sticking, part only the soap is sticking to dirt, but the whole dirt can stick to itself more. And that can add to self-concentrating when dirt starts sticking to itself and releasing the soap to be more free, in principle. Another thing that could be done to self-concentrate is to make membranes that only lets things that are not too parts of it that lets things with certain characteristics like different hydrophobicities and hydrophilicities, or how much they repel or attract water, so it's just perfect and only right amount of things, only things with a happy medium can come through it, recycling it. Now, none of this will be a perfect filter, so some dirt will escape, and the more perfect you make it, the more energy you use, which can sometimes defeat the purpose and the longer it can take, so you have to find some medium balance. Now, for this original idea that would only work for one charged thing, you could have two filters at the opposite end with two different charged things, but then one end, one type of dirt might escape more easily, and another type of dirt might escape more easily, and it might somewhat defeat the purpose. Just so one would So instead of being only good at trapping negative dirt, now you have something that's not good at trapping negative or positive dirt. So you would have to think about that with engineering. Or you could have it in different stages where first you trap all the positive stuff and then you trap all the negative stuff, dirt. And you would have to put in detergent in different stages throughout the whole entire thing. And one stage is optimized for one type of dirt. And one stage, the shampoo, the first shampoo becomes kind of dirt and it also gets trapped in the filter to some extent. Another way of doing that would be just to make it strong and basic or acidic solution, but that won't be good for many things because that can also make stuff more positive or negative throughout the entire thing. These are just some ideas, and quite a lot of custom tailoring. Another way you could really filter out is now after this you could use to get rid of some of the water in this whole apparatus. You could use something like reverse osmosis or thermal osmosis, where you use, instead of pressure, use heat to pump stuff out. And that could concentrate the water, which would concentrate soap and dirt likewise in here. And the dirt would then self-concentrate even more because it sticks together better than the soap. And some of the soap would also get more dissolved in the water and come out with a second wash. And that could reduce water usage a lot because you can reuse the water more, which is even can be a bigger use than a tiny bit of soap using. So another idea to make this whole thing more efficient. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year and 4,000 watch hours, which is really hard, but with your help, I think I can do it. Also, if you have any ideas for future videos, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and please share it with your friends. Thank you very much again. Goodbye.